listeners, welcome to today's edition of Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Salau Abubakar Olaoluwa. I will be taking you history. The topic we'll be looking at today is the structure and organ of United Nations Organization. As we previously examined the United Nations Organization, we will be looking at the structure and organ which performs the major functions and carries out the activities of the United Nations. At the end of the lesson, it is expected to achieve the following learning objective. Students will be able to examine the organs of the United Nations and how the organization is being structured to perform its duty. The student will be able to mention the functions of each organs of the United Nations, and also they will be able to list other specialized agencies of the institution that is being given specific functions to carry out on behalf of the organization. The first organ of the organization we'll be looking at or we'll be examining today in our today's lesson is the General Assembly. The General Assembly is the deliberative body of the United Nations and is also the policy making and decision making of the organization. And this organ of the organization comprises of all the 193 members of the United Nations organizations. The General Assembly usually have their meeting once in a year in September, usually in September at the United Nations headquarters in New York. But they can also have a special session which can be called upon by the Security Council if need be. We'll also be looking at the decision-making process of the General Assembly. The decision-making process of the General Assembly is in two ways. It is required to achieve a two-thirds majority on important issues like admission of new members and other ones, while minor issues within the Assembly requires simple majority vote for the decision to be reached. And the leadership of the General Assembly is the position of the President of the General Assembly, who is being selected among the member states, and each president uses a term of 1 year in the position as the president, and the position is being rotated among members. Now we'll be looking and examining the functions of the General Assembly. The first function of the General Assembly is discussion of the world peace and security. They discuss on issues that are relevant to the maintenance of world peace and security, and if there is any event that happens that threatens the maintenance of world peace and security, they also try to look into how the issue or event can be curtailed or the issue can be dissolved. Also, the admission of new member. It is the General Assembly that admits new member during its yearly session, and a two-thirds majority of vote is required from all members to admit new member into the organization. Also, approval of annual budget. It is the General Assembly that approves the annual budget of the organization that is being prepared by the Secretariat, and also the amendment of the United Nations Charter and treaties. It is at the floor of the General Assembly that the treaties and charters of the United Nations is being approved, amended, or being reviewed. Then lastly, suspension and expulsion of every member. Any member that fails to abide by the rules and regulations of the organization or follow the guideline of dispute settlement, it is at the General Assembly that such member is also being expelled. Next, we'll be looking at a very important and a crucial organ of the United Nations, which is actually central to the maintenance of peace and security, which is the primary aims and objective of the organization. And this organ is the Security Council. The Security Council has a primary responsibility of maintaining international peace and security. That is the primary aims and objective, making sure that the international peace and security is being maintained and no event occurred that will ensure that events that can occur or that is happening that can threaten the current stability is being attended to. And it is composed of 15 members, 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members. The 5 permanent members include the United States, France, Britain, China, and Russia, while the other 10 non-permanent members are being selected and rotated among all other member states, considering the region, the geographical location and region distribution and equal distribution among regions. Then also, it is also important to examine the rules and how the Security Council achieve its decision. The decision of the Security Council is being reached by voting, and each member has 1 vote, and majority of issues is being reached through an anonymous decision. But each of the 5 permanent members has a veto power vote, and each veto power vote means a total no to any decision or any issue that is being raised. And a single veto power, which is a no vote, can abrogate the vote of support from other 14 members of the Security Council. Now, we'll be looking at the functions of the Security Council. The first function of the Security Council is maintenance of world peace and security, which is its primary objective and the major aims and objective of the United Nations organization. The selection of candidates for the post of the Secretary General for recommendation to the General Assembly. It is at the Security Council level that the people that will occupy the post of the Secretary General of the organization, they are being screened and being nominated. It is those that are being recommended to the General Assembly that will be considered, and a final selection will be made. And sometimes it's even a single candidate that will be sent from the Security Council to the General Assembly, and if the General Assembly is okay with the candidate, they so wish and approve it. Also, they are the ones that also elect judges into the International Court of Justice, and it is the judges that they elect that will be sent to the United Nations General Assembly for the approval, and also approval of application from intending members. They are the ones that scrutinize the application of intending members, and without them passing it to the General Assembly, such member can never be considered for membership into the organization. And also investigate dispute and recommend procedure for adjudication of dispute. And lastly, enforcement of United Nations decision. They are the ones that make sure that the decision of the United Nations is being enforced on member states. The third organ of the United Nations that we'll be examining today is the Secretariat. The Secretariat is the engine room of the organization and is being headed by the Secretary General and a Deputy Secretary General. And the location of the Secretariat is at the United States of America and New York City, to be precise. And the role of the Secretariat is the administrative organ of the organization. They carry out all the administrative functions of the organization, and the appointment of the head and other important positions within the Secretariat is being done by the General Assembly. And it is important to know that the office of the Secretary General cannot be occupied by any citizen of a member state of the 5 permanent member of the Security Council, which means any citizen from United States, Britain, France, China, or Russia can never become the Secretary General. This is because of the important position citizens these 5 countries has already occupied in the organization, and also it is important to know that the position and tenure of the Secretary General is a 5-year tenure that is renewable once. Then the function of the Secretariat. The first one is the preparing and formulation of annual reports of the organization, all the activities and the recommendation and paperwork of the organization for a year. They are the one that actually prepares and prepare and report it. Also the staffing. The Secretariat also carries out the recruitment. The Secretariat also carries out the recruitment of personnel and staff for other agencies of the United Nations, and also the setting of agenda. They are the one. It is the Secretariat that prepares the agenda of the meeting of the General Assembly and the Security Council, and also they are the one that administer the peacekeeping operation of the United Nations. And another functions is the coordination and supervision of all the activities of the organization and implementation of and ensuring the proper implementation of policies and effective functioning of other organs of the United Nations. And lastly, the finance and resources. They are the one that make the annual budget, manage the finances and all other resources, both tangible and non-tangible resources of the organization. It is the work of the all these that we've listed above are the function of the Secretariat, which is being headed by the Secretary General. Then the next organ of the United Nations we'll be looking at is the Economic and Social Council. The Economic and Social Council is the principal body for the deliberative review and coordination of policy on economic, social, and environmental matters and development. It is the organ of the United Nations that oversees economic development and social activities of the organization. Just like as we know, they are the one in charge of the setting of the Millennium Development Goal and the Sustainable Development Goal as we have it today. It has 54 members elected by the General Assembly for an overlapping period of 3 years term, which are renewable, and decision is being reached by simple majority and unanimous decision and agreement by member. And it is the United Nations organ that oversees the formulation and implementation of sustainable development goals, so as to make sure that prosperity and development of human race is being attained. Now we will also be looking at International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice is the principal judicial organ of the UN, and it is sometimes called the World Bank. And this organ of the United Nations is the only organ that is located outside the headquarters of the UN in New York. It is actually located in The Hague in Netherlands, and the office of the International Court of Justice is being called the Palace of Peace. Also, the composition of the judges of the Court of Justice. When we are looking at the composition of the judges of the International Court of Justice, the judges are usually comprised of 15 members who are being selected from different countries around the world, and no two judges can come from the same countries, which means the 15 judges have to be selected from 15 different countries. And also we should know that judges are appointed for a term of 9 years, and these 9 years judges can be re-elected, and the judges are being elected by the Security Council. And also the role of the court include settling of dispute among member states in accordance with international law, and giving advisory opinion on legal questions that is being referred to it by the United Nations General Assembly and other organ of the organization. They serve as a court and also as the legal counsel to the organization and its organs. Also, the last organ of the organization we'll be looking at is the Trusteeship Council, and it is important to know that among all the organs of the organization that is being established at its inception, this is the only one that is defunct and no longer existing today. The Trusteeship Council was established to provide international supervision for territory that has been placed under its administration, to ensure that adequate measures are put in place for the democratization and self-governance of this territory. And these territories include some territories that are being placed under its care, or territories that has no leadership or a standing government by the end of the Second World War. That's the reason why this agency or organ of the organization is being established, to make sure that the territories are being nurtured and prepared for self-governance. And by 1994, all the territories under them has attained independence, and the Trusteeship Council suspended its operation in November 1st, 1994. Apart from the major organs of the United Nations, it is important to know that there are some other institutions that are being established by the United Nations, or institutions that member states comes together on their own to perform some functions to them, or coordinate activities and policy implementation for the benefit of the prosperity of humankind. Some of these organizations include the International Labour Organization, which oversees the welfare of employers and laborers all around the world; the Food and Agricultural Organization, which specializes in food security and production of food; the World Health Organization, which oversees the fighting of diseases and improvement of well-being of all citizens of the world; the World Bank, which is formerly known as the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, that was later metamorphosed and transformed into World Bank. We also look at the International Dance Organization, which oversees the cultural exchange of dance practices among different cultures of the world. Then International Civil Aviation Organization, which oversees the activities of airlines and airport operations among member states; and also the World Meteorological Organization. Then the practice question. The practice question we'll be looking at today is a question that has previously been asked in WAEC in the year 2019, and the question goes thus: name any 3 West African countries that were member of United Nations. And the countries we are looking at include the number 1, the Nigeria itself, which we are from. We look at the Ghana, Togo, Benin Republic, Niger, Mali, Liberia, Burkina Faso, and every other West African countries in the world. Thank you very much.
Eko Learners Support, a support program of the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education for WAEC and NECO candidates.
We actually appreciate your comment and contribution, as well as observation on today's topic, and we would like to hear from you through the comment section or the social media handle that is being displayed on the screen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.